Hey guys, today we're going to be cooking up some Alaskan style comfort food, by which I mean we're going to be grilling some ribs. I'm going to blabber for the next couple minutes, so you can skip that if you want. Well, without further ado, let the introduction begin. Well, it's almost Halloween, it's late fall, and that's got me thinking about venison. In the springtime, I think about black cod and halibut. In the summer, my mind is entirely consumed with chasing salmon around in the ocean. But October is a time, October and November are times to think about deer. Think about hunting them, think about cooking them, just thinking about what they're doing. A lot of people find fall to be depressing because, summer's gone. You're gonna have to wait months until it gets nice again. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Every season has its pluses and minuses. Here in Southeast Alaska, the minus is incessant rain in the fall, but every leaf that falls off a tree is followed by a fresh bud. And so the sun will come around again and spring will be back. One benefit of the arrival of fall is that everything slows down. We have so much daylight in the summer in Alaska that it tends to get really hectic. It's that old, gotta make hay while the sun shines. You gotta be out catching fish, selling fish, stocking up your bank account for winter. In spring, you're cutting firewood, your back's sore. But now that it's fall, you can just sort of settle in to winter. And everything's slowing down, The bears are just about tanked up on fat. They're going to be finding themselves a nice cozy den, taking a long nap as the snow falls on them. Hey guys, today we're making venison ribs. And to do that, we're going to be braising the ribs in a liquid with star anise, ginger, and soy sauce. And then after it's braised and it's gotten really soft and it's all about to fall apart, not quite falling apart, but pretty close, we're going to throw it on the grill with a mix of this Batchin's Japanese barbecue sauce and some gochujang for a little bit of smoky heat. This Batchin's Japanese barbecue sauce, I am not paid to advertise for them, though. If they want to pay me, that'd be cool. But it's a really cool sauce. It's got lots of ginger, green onions. It just has a really nice flavor to it, and it goes great with venison or salmon, halibut, black cod. It's all just really easy to just toss that on there and then throw something on the grill. It's thinner than like an American barbecue sauce. It's really different. It's sort of like a teriyaki on steroids. Got some chunks of ribs here from a deer that my wife and I harvested last fall, and a little bit of brisket, which is obviously not nearly the size of beef brisket. Usually it's venison brisket. I end up just grinding it up for burger, but I think with these nice long grains, it will braise up really well and basically it'll be like ribs without the bones. And we're going to slice up our garlic. I'm using one large clove from a hardneck variety. So the cloves are bigger than what is generally available in the grocery store. So you'll probably want to use several cloves if you're using a soft neck variety. Chopping them into large slices because it's mostly to flavor the braising liquid. And the same with the ginger. I like to just cut it in a few discs so that there'll be a good amount of surface area and they'll be easy to remove at the end because they're just to give flavor. We're not going to be eating them later like we would if it was a stir fry. And we got 2 star anise seeds here that I'm going to toss in the braising liquid. So I'm just going to let this heat up and then I'm going to add a little oil and brown the meat just to lock in the flavor. The nature of the shape of the ribs is that with the curve, it's hard to totally brown them. So I figure as long as I get the end and the one side, that's probably good enough. Now that we've got those browned to the best of our abilities, we're going to go in ahead and toss in the ginger and the garlic. I'm just going to give it a little bit of time until it just starts to get golden, but not enough that the garlic burns. We'll add some liquid. I'm just using water. You could use a mixture of water and sake or stock, but I think that water is fine because this venison is so naturally flavorful. Now I'll add some soy sauce. A little less than 1/4 cup should do it, I think. You can always adjust as the braise develops. You can take a little spoonful and see how you like it. But I'm not a huge salt fan, so I think that'll be sufficient on the soy sauce for me. I'm gonna add a splash of mirin in here. Give it some sweetness. And then I'm gonna layer these ribs back in here. Oh, and I almost forgot the anise, so I'm just gonna drop that down into the braising liquid. Oops. Put the lid on here. And then I'm gonna move it over to my wood stove. And it's just gonna chill there for a few hours while I read a book or make some coffee or whatever. You don't have to do it on a wood stove. Obviously, you could do it on the stovetop in your Dutch oven or heavy dish of whatever kind. You could do it in a crock pot, Instapot. I like to do a lot of cooking with a small size pressure cooker, particularly when I'm fishing on the boat, because it'll just really cook things fast. Like I could throw these in my pressure cooker and probably have them ready to go on the grill in like 40 minutes. But I think if you can cook it slow, that gives it time for the flavors to fully develop. It's like a fine wine, you have to age it properly, which instead of being years, it's just, a couple hours. To make the barbecue sauce, I'm going to do roughly equal measures of gochujang and Japanese barbecue sauce. Just going to mix them together here for something that's gingery but a little spicy. And then I'll add a little vinegar just to give it a little tanginess. I like to use cane sugar. I think it has a nicer flavor than some of the other sugars. But rice vinegar would work well, apple cider vinegar, just any sort of vinegar to give it a little tang. I'm also going to give this a little squirted tomato sauce just to give it a little more substance. So this is a fairly spicy barbecue sauce. If you would prefer to have less barbecue sauce, I would go either just with straight Japanese barbecue sauce, which is not spicy at all. It's just a gingery and green onion flavor. Or I would do like 1/4 gochujang to 3/4 of the Japanese barbecue sauce. I like it. I think it's not going to be too spicy. It'll be gingery. And I think the ketchup added a nice body to it. So I think it'll really kind of stick on the ribs as I brush them on. My mouth is already watering thinking about those chunks of meat going on the grill. It's going to be so delicious. So a lot of hunters will turn all their ribs into venison burger, which is understandable because there's not a lot of meat on the ribs. They're kind of a pain to prepare. A lot of people aren't big fans of venison fat, and the ribs tend to be some of the fattier parts of the venison. But I think if you have a nice, clean rack of ribs, you should go ahead and try actually braising them and then throwing them on the grill because they're really good. I usually do like 50-50 burger ribs Just depends on the deer. Some deer have less meat on them than others. Some are really fatty. But I think it's a good flavor to me. It's a fun little treat. It's something that you don't always get out of a deer. Now that these are fully braised and have tenderized up, I'm going to take them out and throw them on the barbecue after brushing them down with some sauce. Make sure to brush all sides of them. Doesn't that look good? We'll brush it on them once here, and then after we put them on the grill, we'll brush them again. Ribs. Moment of truth. Is it edible? How do I eat it? Very edible. I'm gonna eat it caveman style. Except for, I imagine cavemen sauce their ribs with hunger, not delicious Korean-Japanese fusion.